Where is Carter Bryant in the NBA mock drafts, and what does that mean for Arizona's future?
You are Locked On Wildcats, your daily podcast on the Arizona Wildcats. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for keeping it Locked On Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. Locked On, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Okay, now we have got a lot to get to this show. We're going to talk about Carter Bryant. We're going to talk about the Caleb Love. We're going to talk about the NBA. We are going to talk about a lot of different things that are going on with the Wildcats that are going to be fun, that I think that everybody should enjoy watching. Now, the first one, though, that we need to talk about is Carter Bryant and where exactly he is with the where Carter Bryant exactly is with the NBA draft. Now, listen, I love Carter. It's one of those things, though, that things are a little bit different. It's going to be interesting to see how he tests. That's the best way that I could put it. It's going to be interesting to see how he tests. The main reason why is because you've got a big fluctuation when it comes to Carter. You've got on one hand, you've got some people saying that he's going to be 9. On other hands, you say that he's going to be in the early 20s. And so there's a variety of reasons for that one. And I think a big reason why is because Arizona is and Carter Bryant is, he's got transferable skills. There's no doubt about that one. He's got transferable skills. And so that's something that, NBA folks are going to like, and they're always going to like. And what are those transferable skills? He can shoot the 3, and he's got the kind of length and he's got the kind of perimeter that indicates that he'll probably be able to play defense as well. It might take him a little bit of time, but overall, he's probably going to be able to get into that situation. So there's that. Now, the other thing, too, that I think is that's also fascinating is, where is he ready? And so, again, this is going to be interesting to see. How is he going to test? He's probably going to test pretty well. I'm just going to say there. And I'm just going to say that he is, I think when you look at him, he is, I think he's going to test well. I think he's going to, his frame, his all of that, and he's going to check out as a good kid as well. But the other thing, too, that I think we also need to talk about is, where is he then with his development, and what is the best course for him? Now, you could say that, you go off to the NBA, you're going to make a lot more money. I mean, duh. That's that's the way it is. But will he be able to really expand upon that? And I think that's what's going to be interesting. Will he be able to expand on that? Will he not get lost in the shuffle? Now, I do feel that Arizona is going to be in a pretty good spot for him if he does declare for the draft. I feel pretty good about saying that one. And a big reason why is because, this isn't, whatever he decides, people need to understand this isn't going to catch the U of A coaching staff by surprise. This isn't a situation where, they're like, oh man, we didn't see this one coming. We didn't have any idea that this was about to occur. That's not going to this isn't going to surprise them in the least. They will 100% be ready for it, and whatever happens. But like I said, nothing's going to take them by surprise when it comes to what Carter Bryant decides. And you might say, well, what is Carter Bryant going to decide? Well, I guess we're going to find out what exactly that decision is. But overall, this is also a young man that, like I said, he can go pretty much wherever he wants. So we'll see. We'll keep you up to date on that. But like I said, some people have him at 9, other people have him at 17. Now, Caleb is an interesting one. I am going to go on record right now. I do not care what anybody says. I am going to go on record right now and say that Caleb Love will be on an NBA roster next season. I am going to say it right now. I am going to speak it into existence. A big reason why I think that is, well, let's be honest here. He's a player that you watch him and he's got a kind of an NBA game to him. Now people are like, he's not efficient enough, or, whatever the case may be. I get all that. He's not the most efficient guy in the world. But at the same time, though, he's also someone that he's got, like I said, he's got a really, really good build for what he's trying to do. And he's also the type of guy that, you watch him and you're kind of like, all right, where is he in the grand scheme of his development? This is what he is. He's going to be that. He's never going to be a high efficiency type player. That's just not going to be in the cards for him. But you know what? That's also okay, because can he make timely buckets? Yes, I think he can make timely buckets. Can he be able to get to, can he make winning plays? And I think it's something too that we haven't given nearly enough discussion to, is where is he, from a facilitator perspective. I think he showed quite a bit, honestly, as somebody whose facilitating skills could get a lot better. I think because, again, he got into the lane. He was able to make some certain plays happen. He was able to do some really good things. And I think that's something that if you're an Arizona fan, you're hoping that he can continue to expand upon. But I could see him getting picked late in the second round, or I could see him going somewhere, like I said, in the somewhere where I don't know. I'll probably say to a undrafted team. But either way, I think it's going to be a good spot for him. I think he is going to have a chance. I know he wasn't invited to the combine. I know all of that, but at the same time, I think that he's going to be able to, like I said, make some plays. And so I think both those guys are going to be on NBA rosters in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, Carter is the one that everybody's super concerned about, because, like I said, Carter is the difference between this team maybe making a national title run and just being a very, very good team. Not that there's anything wrong with just being a very, very good team. That is definitely something that we can. That is definitely something that we shall see. Okay, but. They're going to go through the process. I would imagine we'll probably know something here in about 3 weeks or so. But as far as the U of A coaching staff goes, like I said, they're not going to be caught off guard by this. They know exactly that, there is a chance. They do know that there's a chance that Carter is going to stay in the draft. And I think you're looking at a situation where, you're kind of like, where what is that, what's next for him. We'll find that out. But Arizona, international wise, there's going to be some really good players that Arizona is going to be able to get. Also, like I said, they got an idea. This isn't going to catch them by surprise. Either way, I'm going to give you a bold take. I think Arizona is going to have a national championship type roster this coming season, and I think they're going to figure out that small forward spot. And again, this coaching staff, I think, has done a pretty good job of that. Now, let's talk a little bit about current guys in the NBA, and there's one guy that's really stepping up. But first, game time, my friend. Game time. There's nothing like an NBA playoff game. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Game Time, you can be part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Grrr. All right, Game Time makes it fast to get playoff tickets, and when demand is high, prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer. Again, it's looking to help you as well, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Again, last-minute deals, and the all-in pricing is awesome. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now let's talk a little bit about where current players are, and current players. I mean, meaning next year, where they are at with Arizona, and where are they going to be in the NBA? Now, there's a couple guys that are no-brainers. Braden Burries will be in the NBA next year. He's got a little bit of a Harden type game to him, in a good way, and that he's kind of a little bit old school. He's kind of old. He's a little bit old school, and that he's a good athlete. Good athlete. Now, to be clear here, but he's not a next level great athlete, but he can still get to where he needs to on the court. He's very, very refined. And he can also, like I said, he can shoot the three, he can score at all three levels. I think this is the guy that Tommy Lloyd wanted. He is a like I said, he should be the leading scorer on this team, and if he's not, it's going to be another guy we're going to talk about in a second. But you watch him, and you're just kind of like, okay, cool. This dude is a little bit different. Like I said, I don't expect him to have the highs. I don't expect him to have the highs that somebody like Caleb Love had, but I also think he's going to be much, much more consistent. I think you're not going to have as many, I think, kind of up and down games, which is a good thing. And again, I love Caleb Love, but Braden Burries will absolutely play in the NBA. I do believe he's a shooting guard. He's 6'5". He is like I said, he's an issue. He's an issue, and Tommy Lloyd said, "Murph, I want you to go get him," and Murph said, "Okay, coach, I'll go get him," and Murph did exactly that. So, massive shout out to Murph on that one. Then Koa Pete's going to play in the NBA. At what level? Who knows? But he's been kind of a fringe. How do I put this? Lottery pick type projection. People have him at about 10 now as in the final rankings, and I think a big part of that is just because they're curious. Has he developed all the way? Has he gone and is he fully maxed? And I think that's a great question. I don't know that there's anybody, I don't know that you can sit here and say, with a definitive idea that he's not fully maxed, because he is like I said, but you also could see, and there could be the potential for him to really kind of take off his game a little bit, like a Paolo Banchero. Now, again, he's not as big as Paolo, I get all that, but he also has kind of a similar skill set at the same age, and he is maybe not quite the athlete, but he's similar. I think that's a good comparison if you're looking at the ultimate upside of what this young man could possibly bring to the Wildcats. Now, as far as where he is then with his development, and we'll find out. But either way, there's no chance that he's not going to be a really, really, really good college player. And at the end of the day, that's all I really care about. Again, you want him to be good in the NBA. Looks good for you. It's kind of another notch on the belt. But, your priority is what are you going to do in college. But either way, he's going to play in the NBA. Now, another guy that I think is going to be a little bit interesting to see how he does play in the NBA is Mo Crevis. Now, Mo Crevis certainly doesn't look like an NBA player. But Tommy Lloyd certainly has a good track record with this. So I am going to sit here and I am going to listen to Tommy Lloyd when it comes to something like this, and that he knows what he's doing. And, I just can't sit here and say anything to the other idea. Like I said, he's a good player. There's still a time for a back to the basket type player out there, and I think that's something that we shall see, and I think that will bear itself out. Dwayne Aristod going to play in the NBA, barring injury. Aristod is a really good athlete. I think the problem with Aristod is that he's got to stay healthy. If he stays healthy, then he's going to be in the NBA, and he's going to be in the NBA sooner than later. Coaching staff obviously loves him. There's good reason to love him because he's really, really good. How about that? Okay, now. So those are kind of the guys that you're like, all right, those are the ones that you're looking at and you're saying those are clear NBA players. I don't know that Mo Krivas is a clear NBA player, but Tommy Lloyd has been in on him for a long time, so we shall, like I said, we shall see. Now, you look around the NBA, and there are a ton of guys out there that are absolutely killing it for the Wildcats, and I think that this is a team that this is a program that is obviously this is a program that obviously takes a great deal of pride in the amount of players it puts in the NBA. And it's put in a ton of players into the NBA. It's got the fourth most of any team currently going. And it's also I think there's 10 in the playoffs. And that's something, too. That's a tip of the cap, too, to, the coaches here and what they've been able to do. Now, a big, and even Tommy Lloyd's been able to extend that as well. But, you look at it, and Aaron Gordon right now, obviously they just got destroyed in their last game, but Aaron Gordon is showing the people what he can do. Aaron Gordon has made one of the biggest leaps ever in three-point percentages. He is going from like 27 to 40, and then his free throws from like 61 to 80. The thing about him, too, is that he plays hard, is that, he wants to be as good as he could possibly be. And I think that's really what it comes down to for a lot of guys like this. Do you want to be as good as you can possibly be? And Aaron Gordon is one of those guys. And I think those are the kind of players that are easy to root for, and they're also easy to draft because they they're just that's just kind of the way it is. I don't really know how to put it. They're easy players to be able to because they're going to be as good as they can. He's a very, very good defender. He's a tremendous finisher, and now with the shot as well, he continues to show that he's going to get better and better and better and better and better. And it's going to be exciting to watch that. I think it's going to be exciting to watch that maturation there. So, like I said, we'll see how that plays out. But it's exciting to watch him, Mr. Aaron Gordon, what he's doing. Then you got the other one. You got Ben Mathurin. Ben Mathurin is, like I said, he's a little unrefined. How about that? But he's a good player. Is he going to be an NBA All-Star? Probably not. I think like a lot of people, I was hoping that he would kind of reach that next level. Doesn't appear that that's going to be the case, but he can still be a very, very good player. He can score. He's physical. He's strong. He's definitely not a weenie. And, that's a big part of it. And another guy too that I got, I know that Sean Miller recruited him, but I got to give Tommy Lloyd a lot of credit because Tommy Lloyd maximized him in a way that I don't think anybody else would have probably maximized him. So, that's obviously something to keep in mind. Now, then you look at it, TJ McConnell in there as well. This is the playoffs, so it's a little bit harder for TJ McConnell to really get in there and really get some action because, again, it is the playoffs. And generally, your backup players don't play as much. And that's, it's just kind of the way it is. But, like you said, you look around the league, there's a lot of winning basketball players. And that's something, too, that I think is a very easy recruiting pitch that is a little maybe underrated in all of this. But first, Amazon Fire Stick, my friends. Amazon Fire Stick. Okay, here's the deal with Amazon Fire Stick. First of all, learn more at Amazon and learn more at www.amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. But here's the deal. Did you know that your Fire Stick is also an Xbox? I didn't know that. And that you can plug into your gaming and entertainment with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign into the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with the EA Sports, with the EA Play included, and you're ready to go. It's that simple. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite TV shows. It's gaming made easy. Again, you got the latest technology for elevated playing, endless entertainment, affordable and portable gaming. Now, again, I love saying it, using it. Everybody else loves using it as well. There is a reason. Head to Amazon.com/FireTV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Again, available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick, 4K second gen Fire TV Stick, 4K Max first and second gen, and Fire TV Cube third gen. Check it out. Thanks for keeping it locked on Wildcats and making this your first listen of the day. I am your host, Mike Luke. All right, now the next thing that we need to talk about is the easy recruiting tool it is for Arizona to be able to have guys that are already in the NBA. That is a good thing for the Wildcats. You watch this team, and you could say that you're like, all right, where is the what's the rub? If you're an NBA, if you're a kid and you want to go to the NBA and you see that Arizona puts dudes in the NBA, guess what? It becomes a lot easier. And I'm going to tell you something. All these kids, they all want to play in the NBA. Tommy Lloyd, I think, has gotten a little bit of a bum rap, because you still get people that are like, all right, took over Sean Miller's players. Well, I'm going to tell you something here. Sean Miller's players were never going to be able to do what Tommy Lloyd allowed this team to do by just kind of unleashing them in the manner in which that he has unleashed them. And I think that's been something that's been very, very good for the U of A, and something that I think we're kind of like, maybe we're taking for granted here a little bit. But it is super, super easy to it's super, super easy to be able to look at this team and say that, come here. I can put you in the NBA. Look at Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson was not on an NBA radars. He came to the U of A. He's on an NBA team. Pelle Larsson, same thing. Look at Ben Mathurin. I think under Sean, Ben Mathurin would have been good, but Tommy unleashed him. Tommy allowed him to be who he is, and I think that was to the benefit of everybody. Christian Coloco, same way in the NBA. Now, he's obviously not the player that the Ben or some of these other guys are, but he allowed him to unleash him. Carter Bryant's an interesting one because he should have played Carter more, but at the same time, it is what it is. He's going to play in the NBA for a long time, and that's another Tommy Lloyd recruit. Then you look at some of the other guys that you're bringing in. You're bringing in, obviously, your Koa Peets, your Braden Burries, et cetera, et cetera. But he's put a lot of guys in the NBA that probably, I don't know, had much of a business being in the NBA if they didn't come here. And that first one that like I said, we're going to keep talking about, and I think it's a great example, is Keyshawn. Keyshawn is, Keyshawn's in the NBA. And he looked more like just kind of a junkyard dog when he was here, when he was at San Diego State. Tommy turned him into that. Either way, it's an easy thing to sell. It's an easy thing for people to sit here and say, okay, I can see why Arizona puts dudes in the NBA. And they put guys in the NBA because Tommy Lloyd is good at what he does. Like I said, I'm not really breaking any news there. Tommy Lloyd is good. And in the NBA, that's going to be a big part of, is getting there. And he lets you play too, and I think that's something that's exciting to see. So, but overall though, with Carter Bryant, you're probably, like I said, you're looking anywhere from 9 to 23, 24, something like that. He'll go in that range. I think it's just depending. Do you feel comfortable? If you're Deshaun, do you feel comfortable saying, okay, he's ready, emotionally for the draft? And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think that he should probably live with Carter for that first year. I know the teams offer stuff for young players, this and that, but Carter is a young buck. Carter needs to, if he's in the NBA, Carter needs to be able to kind of adapt or, have a strong system around him. Okay, now, tomorrow, though, we're going to talk about players I would offer if I was the University of Arizona that don't have offers yet. I'm going to probably give you a little bit of a hint. Mason McGee would be an offer for me. Taj Ariza, even though I know he is an offer, would be an offer for me. And we're going to be talking about some more of those kids, and then we're going to talk about, 26, and we're going to talk about 27 as well. Maybe get into a little bit of Arizona football as well because Vegas loves Arizona's over. That is a big thing. Arizona loves Arizona's over. So there is that. Now, on that note, though, very much appreciate you all making Locked On Wildcats your first listen of the day. Locked On, your team every day. Like I said, this is going to be we're going to talk a lot of recruiting. We're going to talk a lot of portal. And again, we will be back with you tomorrow. Locked On, your team every day.